Welcome back. In this video, let's look at a few puzzles related to expressions. Before that, let's revise some of the terminology that we had learned earlier. So 5 plus 6 plus 10. This is an expression. In the expression, we have operands. 5, 6 and 10 are operands. The plus here is a operator. You can have multiple operators in an expression, and we also talked about the fact that these 10, 6 and 5 are called literals because those values will not change. Let's look at a few puzzles. Think about what would happen when I do something of this kind. 5 star dollar 2. What would happen? Yep, you're right. It would throw a syntax error. So whenever a programming language does not understand the code you type, here the expression I'm typing is 5 into $2. It does not really make sense, right? So even when you look at it, you can say, what are you typing? So even the programming language does not understand that, and it throws an error. So whenever you do something which a programming language does not understand, what does it do? It throws an error. Here it's a syntax error. $5.2. What would happen? Error. Right. So let's say I'm typing in 5 plus 6 plus. I'm not leaving any space between the operand and the operator. What do you think will happen? Okay, it does calculate. So in an expression, the space which we leave is not really mandatory. I was leaving it so that it's much clearer for you to read. So 5 plus 6 plus 10 is easier to read than this, right? So here this is a little more difficult to read. Now let's look at the next puzzle. So 5 by 2. 5 divided by 2. What would be the output? 2.5. If you are coming from other programming languages like Java or C, this might be a surprising result, because if you do that in Java or C, you would get 2 as the output. Here, both the operands are integer values. Integer values are those that do not have a decimal attached to that. So this is 5, 6, 10, 20, 25. So even though I'm performing an operation on an integer value, the result is a floating point value. It's a decimal value. It's a 2.5. Python does what is expected. 5 by 2, I would expect it to return 2.5, and that's what Python returns. Now, next puzzle. 5 plus 5 into 6. What would be the result of this expression? Will it be 5 plus 5, 10 into 6, which is 60? Or will it be 5 plus 5 into 6? 5 into 6 is 30, so 30 plus 5 is 35. So will it be 60 or 35? Think about it. It's 35. How Python decides this is based on something called precedence of operators. So among the operators, star star, which is power of, star, which is multiplication, division, and modulus. These operators have greater priority compared to plus and minus. So all these four operators that we talked about in here, so this is to the power of star, division, and modulus. These operators have greater priority than plus and minus. So in this expression, star has a higher priority, so it's executed first. So 5 into 6 is executed first, 5 into 6 is 30, and 30 plus 5 is 35, and that's the result. I would recommend you to try a few expressions and see what would be the results, and see and understand how precedence works. I'll give you a simple exercise. So 5 minus 2 into 2. What would be the result of this? Will it be 6 or will it be 1? It's 1, because star has a higher priority. 2 into 2 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Let's say I would want to execute 5 minus 2 into 2. So I would want to have 3 into 2, that is 6, as the result of this expression. How do I change the precedence? You cannot really change the precedence, but you can add parentheses or brackets. So what I can do is do something of this kind. Parenthesis has the highest precedence. So what happens is 5 minus 2 gets calculated first, and the result of this expression is 6. One of the things which I like about parenthesis is it makes the expression even more clearer. So even in situations like this, 5 minus 2 into 2, you know that the result is 1, right? So even when you know that a specific operator has higher precedence, you might want to add a parenthesis to make sure that the expression is even more clearer. So anybody who looks at this, it's much more clearer than this. In this step, we looked at a number of puzzles related to expressions. In the subsequent steps, let's move on to other sub-problems. Until then, bye-bye.